Well, it's Motivational Monday. Good morning, good morning. And guess what? It's going to be our last Motivational Monday. That is for December. As you've noticed, we've been switching around for you, keeping it as Vibe Talk and getting you motivated. We have over 400 and something videos for you to stream. And we know that everybody's off. We're going to give you a break for your holidays. And we'll be back next week. And when we come on the following week, we're going to prepare you for what is going to be our family station for Vibe Talk After Dark. You're going to hear what that sounds like, and that will be New Year's Eve. We're going to play back what we played throughout the year. So, in case you missed that part for us, Vibe Talk Facing the Lion podcast, I want you to know that we are celebrating that this. Actually, it should be New Year's Day that we will celebrate that. So, pardon me. Today we're going to see how we've been motivated throughout the years since the start of Vibe Talk Facing the Lion podcast. We're going to see just how we have been motivated. So we want you to sit back and enjoy what we have for you. And gosh, it's going to be such a grand time for all of us. And I thank you guys so much for joining us. Thank you so much, and thank you for being a part of us, because it's so important. You are what has helped us grow. And we are ever so thankful for all of you. As we wind down our celebration of 5 years and counting, I do think by far that this one has been the most satisfying for me. I'll tell you why. Because it has really shown me growth. Our growth as in blooming, coming so far along, coming up with new ideas, and most of all, being consistent. So Motivation Monday, our Monday motivation, is all about getting started with doing something. Today we're going to take a look back and not forget what we've put out there for all of you to see. We have had endless days, and had nights where we have put together and enjoy a couple things for you. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a look at some things early on. Good morning, Trish.
Good morning.
In January of, April of 2021, we're going to see what we sound like back then. This one was on the inner child healing, and boy, I do remember that day. So let's take a listen in. And I want you guys to be thinking about what you're thankful for. Let's not forget that because we've seemed to have lost that. What are you all thankful for as we listen to excerpts of this video? And we own all the rights to the videos that we're going to play. Good morning, good morning. I hope your weekend has been well. Yeah. If there's anything that you guys want to start with, you may go ahead before people start coming in. We're going to talk about the inner child today. You feel like you're in class, Alex? Well, it is just a group. Thank you for the likes. It is just a wellness group. I'm a life coach. You can find me, Alex, on facebook.com, vibetalk. And we have such a wonderful group. Sky Cloud, thank you for welcoming him. Sky Cloud is one of my assistants. I have 2 assistants here. And we're going to really get down into our childhood. Most of the things that we feel start from childhood. And Alex, I don't want you to look at it like a classroom because there's no pass or failures. No one's going to grade you. We just do a lot of interaction, a lot of group talk here. And you can find me on Facebook /vibe-talk if you like today's podcast. Reality Rose, good morning. Welcome in. We're talking about the inner child. Good morning, baby. I feel that the inner child is important to talk about this morning. Right back at you, baby. Right back at it. Okay. So that was January of 2021. We're going to jog your memory so that you feel motivated. And if it's your first time coming across us, because we know that the internet does that, we want you to be proud if you've been here long enough, because a lot of you then were jumping on with us. And we're asking you for the year 2025 to do exactly the same thing. Our logos have changed. Some of our sound has changed, but it's all been part of the exact same thing. We want you to know just how personal we feel about what Trish and I have put together for you all. We don't take it lightly, do we, Trish?
No, we don't.
Yeah, so we want you to understand that this has helped so many people. And this is why we keep at it. We keep at what we're doing. You know, sometimes people will start something and it becomes popular, and then you know what happens? It's a phase out. You know, like the one-hit wonders, people that are on the one-hit wonders, and then all of a sudden you don't hear anything from them. Are you all familiar with that? One-hit wonder.
Yeah, I am.
What's a one-hit wonder? Just give us a demonstration of what that one-hit wonder looks like, if you know in music.
I can't think of any. Oh my goodness. I'm on the
Millie,
spot right now.
Millie Vanilli. You guys remember that group? Milli Vanilli was a group that got on stage and they lip synced something on the award show. And they were found out, and wow, they were one-hit wonders. Uh, it's something that you attempt to do, and you do it for one time, and it becomes something really big. And then guess what happens? It's no more. Not so with Vibe Talk. That's why we're going to take you back for you to understand what we have been celebrating since the end of November. Here's something that I want you guys to think about. And here we go. This is when we went through uh, the book that I highly recommend, Feelings Buried Alive Never Dies. You can get that on audio. And if you would, you include the audio. It's a great place to start because it helps you to understand what's going on with you. We were doing that. I don't know if you guys remember that, but my goodness, when I was given that book, I came to understand a lot. You know, people say we don't have to talk about our feelings, or I don't want to talk about my feelings, or I don't want to feel that pain. But really, guys, think about it. If you don't talk about how you feel, it doesn't go anywhere. That's why it says feelings buried alive never die. I would recommend that book, okay, to help you to understand yourself. Because there's a lot of people who are walking around not understanding themselves. Let's have a listen. Tell us where you're from. We'd love to hear from you. And you may call in 661 503 8993. If you have any questions, go ahead and put them in the chat box. And if you want to get a hold of us, do me a favor and you can find us here on our very own Facebook page. And look into or send your questions there. We want to thank all of you for joining us this Transformation Tuesday. Let's begin. Chapter 17, Feelings, the negative and positive. For the negative, expand it. The positives are cherished, precious, upheld, cared for. The negative, abused. The positive, forgiveness, loved, cherished, sustained. For the negative, accused. The positive would be absolved, vindicated, innocent. For the negative of afraid, the positive would be confident, unafraid, peaceful, reassured. For the negative feeling of aggravated, the positive would be forgiveness, calm, peaceful, and happy. And the same is for agitated negative. The positive is forgiveness, calm, peaceful, and happy. For agony, the positive would be happiness, peace, love, and joy. Aimless would be the positive directed, purposeful, decisive, and resolute. For alarmed, the positive would be calm, peaceful, relaxed, alienated. The positive is forgiveness, accepted, loved, cherished. The negative alone could be countered with the positive bonded, cared for, cherished, connected, aloof. So there's the excerpt for the feelings. Buried alive, never dies. If you could, Trish, please put the link to that. We went over that book, and boy, to redo it in this time and seasons that we live in, it was very triggering for me. What about you, Trish? How did you feel about that book?
It was very triggering for me as well.
So, as Trish puts the link to it, it's in our link. We are live, guys. December Monday, Motivation 2024. And we're still connecting. We went over that entire book. There were parts that connect us medically, and I didn't want to do those parts because I'm not a doctor. I want everyone to know that I'm not a doctor. I am a certified, legal certified wellness and life coach. And I want you to think about your emotional intelligence. What do I mean by emotional intelligence? You to know your feelings. You know, if you're feeling sad, okay, why are you feeling sad? When do you feel sad? And what triggers that sadness? That's emotional intelligence. Being aware of your emotions also is very important, because a lot of people say what? When you ask them how they're doing, they say, well, I don't really know, or I'm fine. How many of you have said that you were fine and you really weren't fine? You just, for some reason, evaded the question. I used to do a lot of that. And with my growing from the times that I used to do that till now, I'm ever so grateful for a friend of mine who said, why do you always evade the question? When I ask you that, never answer it. I did not recognize my emotional intelligence of doing that because somebody else said the exact thing but differently. Why, when I ask you how you're doing, do you ask with a question? Evading. We do that. Or we hide. Or we say, nobody really cares, so why should I? But what I want you to know that it is important to be emotionally intelligent. Be intellectual about yourself, because you're going to do that for someone that you really care about. And on the top of that list of caring about someone should be you. When the question is asked, who do you care about? And that list of questions should be you. You care about you along with the others. Many of you, and we did this, did not put yourself there. You dismissed or you evaded your caring about yourself. Feelings buried alive never die. Just remember that. We came in here with affirmations. How many of you remember that? Anybody remember that?
I do.
Affirmation. Yeah. And what are affirmations so that the audience knows?
Affirmations is basically what you tell yourself or how you what you tell yourself, basically like I am beautiful, I am talented, I am this or I am that. So that's what affirmations are.
Yeah, yeah. And let's get into that. Affirmation. There you go. And I want to apologize because we're getting a late start first off. We hope that you all are joining us. Don't be afraid to join us, even if it's your first. Even if they're in the worst mood. They learned to make it a good day. Are you learning to make it a good day, no matter what you've gone through? To just, I'm going to have a good day. Something out of the ordinary happens. You're not expecting it, but you are building mindset to have a good day. You're going to make it a good day, even if the car didn't start, but you still got a ride to work. You may have had to catch Uber or Lyft or someone gave you a ride to work. You still got there. So that take that good out of the unexpected. Maybe you got into an argument with a family member, your spouse, your better half. But there was something that was a reminder of that day. It should have been. We're going to go back to Texas, Uvalde, Texas, just for a moment as a reminder that we can all still have a good day. And I say this with much love. There was a father who said that before he dropped one of his children off at school, they were having some kind of disagreement about ice cream. The little girl asked her daddy, "Where's my ice cream? I left it in the refrigerator last night." So she was, as kids are, a little upset that daddy had eaten her ice cream. Forgot all about that, got in the car singing. That was a normal thing, he said, that they would sing in the morning to school or listen to the radio, but singing. As he gets the news that there's been a shooting, not knowing that it was going to be that same child or that child, his child, that had to be the most devastating news. But yet, through that tragedy, he found something good for that day. That's part of our affirmations, reminding ourselves of affirmations. Uh, we've come in, we remind ourselves about the good that we do, who we are, even though we are facing challenges, to be the people, to be our best person. And we want to remind ourselves that no matter what happens, we're looking for the greater good of ourselves. Trish, can you add the attachment to feelings buried alive never die? so that the listeners can click on their please and make it convenient for them. Please and thank you. So now, reminding ourselves. Why would we remind ourselves to be the greater good for ourselves? Why would we do that? I'll tell you why. Because we do it for everyone else. If you had a friend and the friend said, I'm no good, I'm worthless, you were going to affirm to that friend not about their being unworthy, but you're going to think about the good of the friend by saying, no, you're not. Remember when you did this? Remember how you did that? You're going to reaffirm, reminding that friend of the good that they've done and the good that they are. And so the important part of the affirmations in the program was to remind ourselves of the best good of ourselves, being best at ourselves. And we've done that over the years. A lot of times in Vibe Talk, I always reminded you all to have an ambience. You know, because when you've got a quiet setting, okay, and everybody needs that, whether it's your bedroom, whether it's your, guest room or outside, everyone needs a place. Have you found your reflective place? And here, when I would light a candle, that's still going to be a reminder of the ambience. Because when the mind is calm, when the heart has the rhythm of calmness, you're better able to think. How many of you have been able to think reflectively when it has been quiet? Trish, about yourself? Still here? Are you here? So reminding ourselves that everyone wants to have tranquility and have peace. How about you, Trish? Have you found your quiet place?
Yes, I have. I found my quiet place.
I want you all to think about your beautiful transformations and how you can make it happen. We have transformation time thinking about change. We talk about change is good, and we let you know that all change may not be good because maybe you're changing for the not so good of yourself, or maybe you're changing for the better. So we found a place to be able to talk about beautiful transformation. Listen to this. Okay. Just 1 minute. Beautiful transformation. Welcome to Tuesday Transformation or Transformation Tuesday. With a mindset for Monday and every day after that. Welcome to Vibe Talk Facing the Lion podcast. We are glad you've made it. If we're not here at 5:30, ladies and gentlemen, try us out for the next hour. We'll be here. We're promising you a beautiful discussion to help inspire and impact your life. As today is Transformation Tuesday, we speak a lot about changing in the healing from change, because you see, your past can make progressive change, progress. And so our thought is inspired today by this. May the next few months be a period of beautiful transformation. Now, if you've been with us long enough, you know that our podcast speaks about transformation, change of something in your life, change of the way that you've been doing things without the result that you want. Change. And so as you produce change, you want to be the change, right? See, we all want to be a change. We all want to. And the best thing about change is to be able to celebrate the results of. And so today, we're talking deeply about how we can indeed be the change we want to see. Good morning and welcome. Good morning.
Good morning.
We ask the question, and we always will. What are you thankful for and why? I'm thankful for all the gift of work that has been given to me. Included in work is the work of Vibe Talk. I'm so very grateful for working hard.
What are you grateful for, Trish? Or thankful for?
I'm thankful for my family. My family has a big impact on my life, so yeah, I'm thankful for my family.
Okay. Every day is a day to be thankful for. You know, people say, I'm thankful that I woke up. And I love to hear people say that. Because how many times are we thankful for waking up and giving thanks on a daily basis? So now, beautiful transformation. We look at beauty, and all of us have a different eye of what we believe beauty is. If you were to do a list of beautiful things, no doubt all of us would have a very different list. Something might be similar, but everybody's would be different. Try it out. Make a list of beautiful things. You know, when you say transformation, we say transformation, transform, which means to change. And when you change, be that change. Now, how many changes within yourself have you been able to see?
It's a really great question, even now, after 5 years. We have been asking and showing and illustrating, which is the same as showing, what beautiful transformation is. We've got the idea of what beautiful things are, you know. But when it comes to ourselves, have we saw growth within ourselves? Can we be honest enough to say, I have grown, I am growing, I've blossomed, I've bloomed? Can we be honest with ourselves? Because within us is the capability of being a beautiful person. There's a lot of ugly in the world, a lot of ugly. Sometimes people's attitude that has affected us, but we can choose to be beautiful. And guess what? We don't have to ask permission to be a beautiful person. We don't have to get approval to be the beautiful person. People will notice that. And you know what people will say? Wow, that's a beautiful person. How many times have you said that about someone? Or have you ever? Trish, have you ever said that about someone?
Yes, I have. And that statement that you made about you don't have to get approval to be beautiful, like that hit hard for me because I've always, I'm the kind of person that's always thinking that when I go to a party, I want everybody else to look their best. And I'm like, I don't want to overdress other people or look better than that other person or something. But like, I'm thinking like nobody asked me to do that. It's about how I want to dress. It's about who I want to be. Because when I wake up, I'm me, and that's like automatic permission right there to be myself. So it just made me think of that.
Love that. Love that. So, with, with all the things that you have been hearing from our past, I would have to say we have grown. There has been growth. There has been beauty, blooming, blossom, and we didn't ask permission to just be that. Vibe Talk has formed through all the days that you've heard. And some of those blossoming moments or growing moments have included great changes, more changes, with still the same tone. Trish and I, we were talking about this. Remember, Trish, we were talking about how we've grown, but we've had challenges. And what it has helped me to appreciate while you're growing, allow for your challenges, allow for mistakes. Every time we come into Vibe Talk Live, we are faced with challenges, technical challenges, wondering if anybody is hearing us, wondering if we hit home for somebody, wondering if somebody has taken something away from us in that they've learned something, learned and discovered something about themselves. So every day is a moment to think about beauty, what it really means, transformation, learning how we do it. A lot of people always want answers. And I want to tell you guys something. Whenever you go somewhere and let's say you're taking a class, an educational class, yes, you should have informative information. But what does the educator expect from you during the class? And we're going to ask Trisha this because she just happens to be in college. What does your teacher expect from you?
She expects, well, my teachers expect us to learn. That's it.
So in order to learn, you have to do what?
Pay attention, focus.
Yeah, and do your own work. What if you were somewhere in the class and someone asked you to do their work? You know, there are people like that. Come on, let's admit it.
I
You
have
don't
been
want
there.
to, yeah, you don't want to do your homework. You want other people to do it. You know, my sister, when I was very young, because math was not my favorite subject, as long as I knew my ABCs, my one, two, threes, and my general math, I was fine. But my sister was doing my homework, and I loved it. I didn't have a problem with it until that one day my mother found out that my sister was doing all of my math work, and that was fine with me, but I wasn't retaining the information because my sister is really good with numbers and math, and I wasn't good at math. So I let her do the work. But who was it benefiting? We laugh and grin and we say, well, it benefited me because I didn't have to do the work. Well, here's the issue with that. The challenge with that is that I wasn't learning because my sister didn't go to class with me. She didn't sit there with me. She just did the work because she was tired of explaining to me how to do it. Not so with live talk. Why do I want to bring that up? Because if you think that Vibe Talk is going to give you answers, you're in the wrong class. You're in the wrong group. Vibe Talk for the last 5 years, every podcast, all 400 of them, you come up with your own answer. That's what I love about Vibe Talk. And I didn't even realize that I was like that until I started to do a playback. You see, because everybody loves when you listen to podcasts and they're going to tell you the what, when, how. I help you to discover that you have the capability, the ability, your own butterfly wings to come up with your own answers. Are you going to be right on all the time? Or what I mean by that, I'll illustrate it. You know, you come in and I say to you, what on your list of 1 to 5, what has bothered you the most? What emotion bothers you the most? And you give me an emotion. Let's take anger. And you tell me that you're angry. I'm not going to figure out what you're angry about. Through use of questions, we're going to figure out together. You're going to be able to tell me what you're angry about. And I've told every last one of my clients, when they say, I don't know, Trish, what happens? I don't know. What happens, Trish? You remember?
When when they say I don't know, we usually continue to ask them questions, and they discover that they do know.
What did you discover about I don't know? You
Um,
still here?
yes, I'm here. I discovered by me always saying I don't know. It's easier to say that. It's like I do, but I do know. I just have to do the work to get the answer. I do know the answer.
Come a little closer and repeat that, because I want to hear that again. And I want everyone to hear what you just said. That is key.
I said I do know the answer
And why do you know the answer?
because I did the work to get the answer.
Yes. You remember the learning tree that we did? And you drew the tree and you had to add words. You remember that when you took out the paper and I had you do that?
Yes, I remember.
Yeah, yeah. And that's what happens in life. You're not going to be entertained by me giving you an answer. I'm going to make your brain work for you. We talked about the power of the brain. We talked about power tools that we need. I liken your brain to a machine. That's a tool that you need to work on something, to fix something. And you need your mind, heart, and the soul of you. You are that soul. When I ask you to hold up your hands, when I ask you to clench your fist, all of those tools remind you of your power. And that's what I love. For the last 5 years, we've been able to help people understand. Trish, you hit it right on the nose. Do your own work. So we do that work by having you maybe draw a picture of something. Maybe you're going to draw about how angry you've really been. Maybe I want to have you express it through a picture. And I guarantee you, everybody's going to draw something that looks different from what my anger may look like. And the reason I have you do that, because as an educator, I've learned through early child education that children can draw a picture worth 1,000 words. They know what it looks like when mommy and daddy argue. You say, what does that look like? They're going to draw you, and they're going to tell you details. So I decided to bring that on over to Vibe Talk, and many of you have done excellent. If you care to, I'd love for you to look at some of the artwork. And I want to say again, Trish, you have completed every assignment. And she put her heart and her mind and her fingers to work. And I tell you, boy. So I want you to go take a look at that on our YouTube page. We do have it. Some of you have decided that Vibe Talk is not for you, and that's okay. Guess what? We're still going to be here. Now we are just going to be expanding. We're going to expand so that you have a center to come into. Doesn't mean it's a classroom and if you don't show up, you're going to be kicked out. No. It's for the people that really want to work on and do their own work on themselves. It's for everybody to work on themselves. It's for interactive discussions. We're not a medical center by any means. There's no doctors. We're going to have people who come in. I've already been asked if people could come in, but I want to know what they want to talk about. That's important to me. Because they might want to talk about something that's so far to the left that you will lose focus on what the Healing Center is all about. It's about truly working on yourself and teaching you the power to be able to discover that you were stronger than you thought. Last 5 years of Vibe Talk facing the light. We're going to be right back with Precious Treasures. Stay right where you are. Don't you dare leave. We are back. It's time for Trisha's Treasures. Trish?
When I was in, I would say from 5th grade all the way until I finished high school, people copying off my paper, giving other people answers. And as I got older, I thought, what did I have that they didn't have? Because all I did was sit there and listen to what she said and did my own work. Like, I don't understand why they kept. And I was thinking during this whole podcast, I was thinking, what could be the answer for that? And I can't say their answer because only they know. Only they know. But I know that I always believed that they were smart. It's just I thought they took the easier route. It's easier to copy off of Treasure's paper and assure that I'll get the answer right than to figure it out on my own. And there are times when they copied off my paper, my answer was completely wrong. And I was like, I would feel so stressed out about that because they trust me to give them the right answer and I got it wrong. And I was very stressed about that. And that's what I love about Vibe Talk, though, because we don't give people answers, because giving people answers, that makes them dependent. And depending on what other people say is not what we try to motivate you to do. That's not what we teach here. We don't teach you to listen and always do what we say. You have a mind of your own. You have the mental capacity to do your own work, figure out your own answer, because your life is not our lives. Our lives is not your life. And you know your life better than we do. And we know our lives better than you. So figuring out your own answers, even if you can't think of the answers of why you feel a certain way or why things aren't turning out the way you want them to turn out. We always talk about challenging our mentality to think for ourselves, always growing our mindset. We have one about that of taking our own advice because we try not to give people advice here. We try not to do that. So we have a podcast on our channel about what's your own advice. And we have one about capability. And those are things that you use to expand your mindset and continue to grow in who you are and who you want to be. And me helping people, well, that wasn't helping people. I thought it was helping people, but it was actually disabling them from doing their own work. It was actually, they thought it was easy, but when we took that final exam, they couldn't copy off my paper because they would separate the desk. And the teacher, my English 4 teacher, she was like, yeah, Treasure, go to the back. Because she knew that everybody was sitting around me to get my answer.
Yeah.
It was funny
Yeah.
because she told me, she was like, well, the only person that's exempt from taking this final exam is Treasure. And I was like, oh, so they won't be able to copy off me anyway. But the point is, it's up to them now. They can't copy off of me. Now it's up to them. And that's how it is with life. It's up to you. It's your choice whether you want to grow. It's your choice whether you want to actually have a sit down with yourself and reflect on how you feel and why you feel the way you do. And that's what Vibe Talk Facing the Lion podcast has been doing for 5 years. Telling you it's up to you to think about it. It's up to you whether you want to do your own work. But we're not going to make the choice for you. And if you're willing, we're willing to help you.
Facing the lions, facing the lions.
Thank you for that lion power trick. Enjoyed that so much. So that's a wrap. What we're going to do for the last time January 2024, because I notice I've been missing it, is what is our learn and discover. We're calling it take home point. What do we take from this podcast? If you're out there and you're listening to any podcast, you want it to make it make sense, because there are thousands of podcasts, and we celebrate you, we cheer you on, but what's the point of it? We see it as, what did you learn and discover in this podcast today? I'll start first. I learned and discovered that our podcast has an impact. Vibe Talk Facing the Lion podcast has grown. And we go from varying subjects. It's how we're doing it. Are people going to listen? Or is it going to become too fiery and people can't take it? We realize that there's a various and varying amounts. People come from all walks of life. Sometimes it gets too triggering. We've had people leave and we've had people come back. So my take home from this and what I learned and discovered is there's room for everyone and no one gets left out. But you must do it. 5 years and still connect. Trish, what's your take home or learn and discovery?
My take home is that I don't leave empty handed. My mind never leaves empty handed from Vibe Talk. I always learn something new about myself, and I'm always willing to learn about me. And at first, it was hard for me to do that, but as I kept going and as I kept trying to learn about me, it became easier to accept certain parts of me that was hard for me to accept. Not saying that I've accepted everything, but I have accepted some things, and I'll give myself an applause for at least doing that much, because I thought that was impossible. And my take home is, or I see it as, my to go plate about this podcast, or what it was about today, is I've always have something to learn about me and discover about me, and I always have to be. Sometimes I'm not motivated to learn about me because I'm not ready to open up about certain things, but I have to be patient and get that motivation to know about me.
I love that. You know, guys, we're here for you. Our 800 number, in case we forgot to tell you, that number is, one second, that number is 888-721-9260. I want you to know it's for Vibe Talk Facing the Lion podcast. It's for Vibe Talk Facing the Lion podcast, the Healing Center, and it's for Vibe Talk After Dark. We have our own toll-free number from wherever you are. It's toll-free. You can text on that number. And we want you to know about it because it's so important that you find out about it. And we're going to give you a sample of it. Hold on just one moment. Of what it sounds like, because we want you to use that number. Trish and I are notorious for testing things out before we bring them to you because we're always having some kind of technical difficulty. So here you go with what it sounds like. I don't know if you're going to be able to hear it, but I'm going to do my best. Can you hear that, Trish?
No, I can't. Okay, so when you leave your number, okay, hold on. I'm gonna let you hear it so you are comfortable with. One second.
Thank you for calling the Vibe Talk Facing the Lion podcast. Please hold the line and we'll answer the call shortly.
Now that's the line. You can, on that toll-free number, text, leave me a message, and we'll get your message. We promise you. Why are we telling you all of this? Because we want year 6 to be better than the year before. I have really enjoyed Vibe Talk 5 years in today. I don't know what it is about this year that hyped me up. Even when we started, I didn't really know how finding an in-person building was going to look like. But the year 2024 at the end, we said, and do you remember this, Trish? When we did our review, we said that's going to be our goal, that we have an in-person building.
I remember.
Yeah. You see, if we don't realize that it's in our power to be able to do what we want to do, if we don't seek the opportunity, don't expect it to happen. We were still searching. And that's what we're so thankful That's what I'm thankful for today, the 5 years and counting. And knowing that even if no one supports our GoFundMe, no one supports our donations, we're still going to keep it moving because I have all kind of connections. But that's there if you really want to help, because people have asked, what can they do? Our healing center is not a cost because it's priceless. We've spent many hours. It's going to be all up to you. If you want to drop off a chair, a table, snack, whatever you want to do to make that healing center the best that it can be, we're not going to stop you. We can't put a price. Why is that? Because we've done so much work. I'm proud of Trish. I'm proud of myself because all I've seen is growth. And I'm so proud. And we couldn't do it without Jehovah God as our creator. We can't leave that out. We can't. Because nothing would happen without his blessing. And I respect that and hope you will too. I want to thank my amazing co-host, Trish. Thank you so much. Thank you for the conversations we've had on air, off air, the ideas that you put forth, the envisions that you have helped so timely with. Thank you as an audience for even listening to us. Sometimes we don't even know that you're there, but you're listening, and we appreciate it. Won't you come and grow with us for the year 2000? Thank you all for being here. And I thank you and hope that we've challenged you to be motivated for this December 23rd Monday Motivation. We'll be back. But this week, we're going to allow everybody to take a break. And we're going to be back next Monday. And we're going to tell you all about what we're going to do with our music. In case you've missed our show, we're going to be playing songs that we played all year. And I've got a beautiful idea. So I hope you are not going to miss our New Year's Eve to New Year's Day. I hope you don't miss it. It'll be recorded, but I hope you don't miss it. Call in. We'd love to hear from you. Our 800 number. By the way, we still have our local number for those of you living within the community, 661-503-8993. Thank you for putting up with me and Trish, because I've been saying we're going to get this toll-free number. Finally did it. I'm grateful to every last one of you who have supported. Thank you. And till next time, Vibe Talk Facing the Lion podcast. We'll see you soon.
Because I don't want you just to make a resolution. I want you to think about. I was really about to lose it, then I got the vibe with it. I really took my time with it. I really love the ride with it. Real, really got the vibe with it. I took my time with it. I really love the ride with it. You can finally see a better you when you get the vibe with it. Yeah, when you get the vibe with it. Yeah.